And the translations to text number 1, text number 2, text number 3, and then there's a just very short purport, and I'll read that, and then I'll read text number 4, and then we'll chant the Sanskrit to text number 5. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Bastaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharane Nirvasesa Sunyavadi Vaskachati Shatarane. So this chapter is called The Dynasty of Angsuman. This chapter describes the history of the dynasty of Angsuman up to Katvanga. And it also describes how Bhagirata brought the water of the Ganges to this earth. The son of Maharaj Angsuman was Dilipa, who tried to bring the Ganges to this world, but who died without success. Bhagirata, the son of Dilipa, was determined to bring the Ganges to the mature world. And for this purpose he underwent severe austerities. Mother Ganges, being fully satisfied by his austerities, made herself visible to him, wanting to give him a benediction. Bhagirata then asked her to deliver his forefathers. Although Mother Ganges agreed to come down to earth, she made two conditions first. First, she wanted some suitable male to be able to control her waves. Second, although all sinful men would be freed from sinful reactions by bathing in the Ganges, Mother Ganges did not want to keep all these sinful reactions. These two conditions were subject matters for consideration. Bhagirata replied to Mother Ganges, "The personality of Godhead, Lord Shiva, will be completely able to control the waves of your water. And when pure devotees bathe in your water, the sinful reactions left by sinful men will be counteracted." Bhagirata then performed austerities to satisfy Lord Shiva, who is known as Asutosh, because he is naturally satisfied very easily. Lord Shiva agreed to Bhagirata's proposal to check the force of the Ganges. In this way, simply by the touch of the Ganges, Bhagirata's forefathers were delivered and allowed to go to the heavenly planets. The son of Bhagirata was Shruta. The son of Shruta was Nabha, and Nabha's son was Sindhu Dvipa. The son of Sindhu Dvipa was Ayutayu, and the son of Ayutayu was Rituparna, who was a friend of Nala. Rituparna gave Nala the art of gambling and learned from him the art of Ashwavidya. The son of Rituparna was known as Sarvakama. The son of Sarvakama was Sudasa, and his son was Saudasa. The son of Saudasa was, or the wife of Saudasa was named Damayanti or Madhyanti, and Saudasa was also known as Kamashapada. Because of some defect in his fruitive activities, Saudasa was cursed by Vasistha to become a Rakshasa. While walking through the forest, he saw a Brahmana engaged in sex with his wife, and because he had become a Rakshasa, he wanted to devour the Brahmana. Although the Brahmana's wife pleaded with him in many ways, Saudasa devoured the Brahmana, and the wife therefore cursed him, saying, "As soon as you engage in sex, you will die." After 12 years, therefore, even though Saudasa was released from the curse of Vasistha Muni, he remained sonless. At that time, with Saudasa's permission, Vasista impregnated Saudasa's wife, Madhyanti. Because Madhyanti bore the child for many years, but still could not give birth, Vasista struck her abdomen with a stone, and thus a son was born. The son was named Ashmaka. The son of Ashmaka was known as Balika. He was protected from the curse of Parasaram because of being surrounded by many women, and therefore he is also known as Nari Kavacha. When the entire world was devoid of Kshatriyas, he became the original father of more Kshatriyas. He is therefore sometimes called Mulaka. From Balika, Dasharatha was born, and from Dasharatha came Idavidi, and from Idavidi came Vishvasaha. The son of Vishvasaha was Maharaj Khatwanga. Maharaj Khatwanga joined the demigods in fighting the demons and was victorious, and the demigods therefore wanted to give him a benediction. But when the king inquired how long he would live and understood that his life would last only a few seconds more, he immediately left the heavenly planets and returned to his own abode by airplane. He could understand that everything in this material world is insignificant, and thus he fully engaged in worshiping the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari. So text number 1. Sukadeva Goswami continued. King Ansuman, like his grandfather, performed austerities for a very long time. Nonetheless, he could not bring the Ganges to this material world, and therefore, in due course of time, he died. Like Anshuman himself, Dilipa, his son, was unable to bring the Ganges to this material world, and he also became a victim of death in due course of time. Then Dilipa's son, Bhagirath, performed very severe austerities to bring the Ganges to this material world. Thereafter, Mother Ganges appeared before King Bhagirath and said, I am very much satisfied with your austerities, and am now prepared to give you benedictions as you desire. Being thus addressed by Ganga Devi, Mother Ganges, the king bowed his head before her and explained his desire. Purport. The king's desire was to deliver his forefathers, who had been burnt to ashes because of disrespecting Kapila Muni. Text 4. Mother Ganges replied, When I fall from the sky to the surface of the planet Earth, the water will certainly be very forceful. Who will sustain that force? If I am not sustained, I shall pierce the surface of the earth and go down to Rasatala, the Patala area of the universe. Okay, so we can chant text number 5. Kim chaham na bhuvam yasye naramay yam ritjan tyagam mrijami tad agam kwaham rajam statra vichinyatam. Somebody could chant. Mataji's. Kimcha, also. Aham, I. Na, not. Bhuvam, to the planet Earth. Yasye, shall go. Nara, the people in general. Mayi, in me, in my water. Amrit Janti, cleanse. Agam, the reactions of their sinful activity. Mrijami, I shall wash. Tat, that. Agam, accumulation of sinful reactions. Qua, unto whom? Aham, I. Rajan, O king. Tatra, on this fact. Vichintyatam, please consider carefully and decide. Translation. O king, I do not wish to go down to the planet Earth, for there the people in general will bathe in my water to cleanse themselves of the reactions of their sinful deeds. When all these sinful reactions accumulate in me, how shall I become free from them? You must consider this very carefully. Purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead says, Sarvadhamma Purityaja Mamekam Sharanam Raja Aham Tvam Sarvabhavebhyo Moksha Yisyami Ma Suchaha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reaction, do not fear. The Supreme Personality of God, it can accept the reactions of anyone's sinful deeds and neutralize them because he is pavitra, pure, like the sun, which is never contaminated by any worldly infection. Tejayatsam na doshaya vane sarva bhujo yata. Bhagavatam 10:33-29. One who is very powerful is not affected by any sinful activity. But here we see that Mother Ganges fears being burdened with the sins of the people in general who would bathe in her waters. This indicates that no one but the Supreme Personality of Godhead is able to neutralize the reactions of sinful deeds, whether one's own or those of others. Sometimes a spiritual master, after accepting a disciple, must take charge of that disciple's past sinful activities, and being overloaded, must sometimes suffer, if not fully, then partially, for the sinful acts of the disciple. Every disciple, therefore, must be very careful not to commit sinful activities after initiation, The poor spiritual master is kind and merciful enough to accept a disciple and partially suffer for that disciple's sinful activities. But Krishna, being merciful to his servant, neutralizes the reactions of sinful deeds for the servant who engages in preaching his glories. Even Mother Ganges feared the sinful reactions of the people in general and was anxious about how she could counteract the burden of these sins. So as is mentioned in the purport of this verse, Krishna says that abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reaction, do not fear. So he told this to Arjuna. He didn't say, he left it up to him to decide what he wanted to do. He didn't say that you must surrender unto me. I am God, you're my part and parcel. No, he will always give us a free will to do, to choose. He will never touch our free will. And if we do that, if we follow his instructions, then it will be for our benefit. But as Srila Prabhupada mentions in one lecture, he says, but we have to do this with enthusiasm. Not that these people have told me to do this, therefore I have to do it. I have to do this. No, one should do it with great enthusiasm. And by doing that, then one actually advances in Krishna consciousness. So the free will is there for the living entity. God is controlling everything. Everything is being done by his will, but the first will is our desire. And by that, we are given a particular type of body to enjoy or suffer in this material world. So we have to properly use our free will and engage in the devotional service of the Lord. So in this way, by enthusiasm, we can advance in Krishna consciousness. So this enthusiasm means one should be attentive into his devotional service. Just like when we are chanting Hare Krishna, we have to be attentive to hearing the holy name, not that we're doing other things, we're cleaning or reading or anything like that, but we should simply hear. So this is a symptom of enthusiasm, is to be attentive, not simply mechanically chanting or doing something and thinking of something else, whatever it is. So this is very important. And so what does Krishna say? Give up everything. Because he says, give up all varieties of religion. And it says like that, but also Krishna comes to establish the principles of religion. So this religion means, when it says give up all religion, this means all so-called religion. This is kicked out. They may call it this is religion, but religion means the orders of the Supreme Lord. This is what actual religion is. So this is to be given up. Anything that's not for satisfying Krishna, this is not religion. It's simply a cheating process. So Bhagavad Gita ends with that statement, give up all varieties of religion, and this Srimad Bhagavatam begins describing how one should reject all cheating types of religion. So this is what we have to do. We have to give this up. And it doesn't matter, Srila Prabhupada mentions many times, it doesn't matter what type of religious process you have. You may call yourself a Christian or a Mohammedan or so many Hindus, so many things. But your test of your process is shown. But how do you actually love God? How's it you're remembering God? Just like if you go to a university and you get a degree, an MA or a PhD, that's what's important. It doesn't matter what country you get it from or anything like that. It matters if you have a degree. So similarly, religion, Prabhupada mentioned in various places, it doesn't matter what religion you have, but we want to see by the result that you actually love God. So, so we have to give all this up. Prabhupada also translates, give up means give up all this nonsense leadership. We have to follow the perfect leader, Krishna, and by following the perfect leader, then we become perfect. But if we follow these fools and rascals, these fools and rascals in this age have been compared to dogs, hogs, camels, and asses. So the people in general, they get together and they elect a very big hog, dog, camel, and asses for their leaders. So this is, and by following these people, we will simply go astray. We will go off the path. Just like a blind man, if you follow a blind man, you'll simply be led into a ditch. So we have to be very careful and follow the perfect leaders, not these nonsense leaders. So give up. Prabhupada also translates this in another lecture as give up your so-called searching for so-called happiness and just surrender unto me. So many, many lifetimes we've been searching after happiness in this material world, but we're simply frustrated. But by surrendering to Krishna, by pleasing Krishna, we can actually be satisfied. So this verse means Krishna has also been translated as, Krishna is saying also in this verse 1866, that this is the most confidential knowledge. I am giving you I'm giving this to you, Arjuna, because you are my friend and I love you very much. Therefore, this is my last word. So Krishna is very kind. He has given us instruction in the Bhagavad Gita, and if we follow it, we'll become perfect. It's very simple. It's not very difficult to do. But the problem is that people don't want to become perfect. They want to become cheated. The words are there, Bhagavad Gita is there, Srimad Bhagavatam is there, but they misinterpret it in various ways, or they say, or they say Srimad Bhagavatam wasn't written by Vyasadeva, and they say so many crazy things that. Srila Vyasadeva gave this Bhagavatam to us and simply a bunch of mythology. But he gave us, Srila Vyasadeva presented so many great Vedic literatures, and why should he waste his time in presenting so much mythology like that? This is, those who are actually leaders, those who are actually acharyas, Prabhupada mentions in this connection Sankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They accept this Srimad Bhagavatam as the great authorized Vedic literature, and by listening to them, then we could actually become qualified and purified and go back home, back to Godhead. So, so we have to accept this. As mentioned in the, we have to accept it. We have to be free from fear. Krishna says, do not worry, do not fear, do not hesitate. This is mentioned in the purport to 1866. So we shouldn't think that, well, I could take up this Krishna conscious later, I have plenty of time. But nobody knows how much longer we're going to live. Our heart could give out. We could walk across the street and some car could hit us. There's no guarantee. So we have to be very serious and unhesitatingly surrender to Krishna, and then he'll protect us. Whoever Krishna wants to protect, no one could kill, and whoever Krishna wants to kill, no one can protect. And anything else, any other measures we try to accept in this material world will simply be ineffective if Krishna does not give us protection. Just like Prahlad Maharaj says that one may have good medicine and good physician, but if you're destined to die, if Krishna does not protect you, then you will die. And a child, he may have Very, very nice parents, and they may protect him very much. But if he's destined to die, then nobody could save him. But if we surrender to Krishna, then we'll be protected. That's the only way we can be protected. Just like Srila Prabhupada explains in his own life, he was explaining how his father, when he was a child, his father was giving him protection, but his father left, and he said, now who is giving me protection? My mother was protecting me, but now she's gone, who will give me protection? He said, I left my wife and children, I gave them up, now who is giving me protection? He says, actually Krishna is giving me protection always. He is always giving protection. And those who are protected by Krishna, serving him, Prabhupada says, a practical experience we have, he said, when I was a child, he said 82 pounds of first-class rice would cost 75 cents. And later on in 1940 in Bengal, there was an artificial famine imposed by the government, and people were starving and dying during that time. But he asked those persons in the devotional line how they were doing, and they said they were somehow or another they were managing. And Prabhupada said, my family, we were managing. He said, I had my wife and my 5 children and my servant, about 10 of us, and we were all right because they were being protected by Krishna. So if we surrender to Krishna, then he will give us protection. That's a very practical thing. So this protection means to follow Krishna's instructions. This is what he demands of us, and if we follow that, then we'll be protected. So that means to follow the instructions of the spiritual master. And like Prabhupada mentions here, how when the spiritual master accepts a disciple, then he has to accept the sinful reactions of that person. So some of us have been brought up in Kali Yuga, so we may have a lot of sinful reactions to be accepted, or some of us may have been born in the movement, so we may have very little, because just by being born in the material world, you have some type of sinful reactions like that. So it may be very little or a very lot, but the spiritual master will accept them. But Prabhupada explains, he was lecturing here in Los Angeles, said once one becomes initiated, the fan is going on, but once one becomes initiated, then it's like plugging out the fan. So the fan keeps on moving, but it's not going any faster, it's slowing down like that. So we shouldn't plug it back in, and we shouldn't burden the spiritual master. It says that the spiritual master, sometimes he has to have a bad dream because of accepting a disciple like that. So we should be very considerate that he's helping us, and we shouldn't put the spiritual master into any unnecessary pain like that. So this affection, we say that we have affection for the spiritual master. This is written to a letter to Radhakanta in 74. He said, Prabhupada mentioned to him that affection for the spiritual master and following his orders are the same. So that's real affection, not that, oh, I love my spiritual master, Jai Guru Dev and all this, but when it comes to following his instructions, we don't really care. This is not real affection. Real affection means we'll carry out the instruction, we'll do whatever is necessary, like that. So taking shelter of the Guru means following his instructions. So we have to follow Krishna consciousness very strictly. As one of the items I want to bring up, one of the instructions of the many instructions, the basic principles, specifically coming to Mangala Artik. So Prabhupada mentions how by following these principles, like coming to Mangalartik, one will reach the platform of love of Godhead, like that. And how if one does not come to Mangalartik, then there is no question of spiritual life. He said here in Los Angeles in 1972 that he mentioned how in India there's one temple there, and all the members, it's a rich family, and they come, take darshan of the deity from Mangalartik, and if they don't show up, then they're fined. The priest comes around and says, you know, you come to Mangalartik, so they, you know, according to their position, they give so many rupees like that. So Prabhupada said in that connection that here if they don't come to Mangalartik, they have to sell one Krishna book. He said like that. So this is required. So, and also he said some other things. He says if they don't attend Mangalartik, this is a letter he wrote to Nityananda, that they should not be given second initiation. And he also said that if they don't come to Mangalartik, this is on February the 26th, 1976, in a morning walk. He said if they don't come to Mangalartik, then they should not eat like that. They should fast. So this is a very serious thing, these rules and regulations. When Mangalartik is mentioned along with them in many cases, and sometimes specifically just Mangalartik. And so we have to follow all the rules and regulations given by the previous acharyas, such as coming to Mangalartik, which Prabhupada mentions in the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Otherwise, even if we're in a very highly exalted position, we will fall down. This is in connection with Bharata Maharaj. He was in the platform of bhava right before prema, and because he gave up his son and his devotional service, he fell down. So we have to be very careful. It doesn't matter. Prabhupada said, all my disciples, big or small, they must come to Mangalartik. It's not we shouldn't set a bad example. No one is advanced. Everybody is a student, like that. So this internal, coming to Mangalartik is one of the process of purification. There's external cleanliness and there's internal cleanliness. So Mangalartik, Srila Prabhupada mentions, is one of the principles of eternal cleanliness. So we have to follow these principles, and by taking up by this Krishna consciousness, we should follow it. As Prabhupada mentions, our path, our process is a process of slowly but surely. Not that we do things immediately and later on regret it, but we have to do things slowly and surely, just like when you're walking down the street, you put down one foot, and when it's firmly on the ground, then you take another step. Things that are very valuable, they take a long time to fructify. There's a Bengali proverb in that connection that Srila Prabhupada mentions, how just like almonds and macadamias and walnuts, they take a long time to fructify. Therefore, any of value takes some time to fructify. But anything but all is well that ends well. So slowly but surely, another example Prabhupada gives is little drops of water wears away the stone. So he said, I'm translating a little bit every day, and wherever I am, I translate a little in this way, I'm able to produce so much. So by gradually taking up Krishna consciousness and steadily advancing more and more, and keeping what we have, not that we try to do so much and then go on to something else and then just, we should keep it. Like Prabhupada mentioned the example of Alexander the Great, how he said, don't make me an Alexander the Great in my lifetime. That we go and preach, and we establish a temple at one place, and then we go to some other place and that temple falls apart. No, we should steadily increase as we become stronger and stronger. So So we should follow this, surrender to Krishna, and this will be for our benefit, and then we'll go back to home, back to Godhead. So I could stop there. Are any questions in these points? Okay, we can stop there. Thank you very much. All glory to Shishi, Guru, and Gauranga.